straight politicking on all you mofos. And I'm here with my co-host, Munchie B, the mayor. And I got a guest co-host that pulled up all the way from San Diego, a.k.a. Dago.
Hey.
Called Dago.
She's also a rapper.
Mm-hmm.
If you've been following her on Instagram, you might have heard her spit a few bars. But we got Nina Berretta in the house.
Hi.
They earned the first one. Forgive you for the times you took more than your share. Looking back, that wasn't love. I see the devil was there. God forgives, but I can't. Still have to grow in my faith. I get these visions where I blow off your face, and I know it ain't right. A lot I gotta work on in life. I get to talking to God. He said he gave me the life.
How's it going?
Good. It's going good, and I'm very grateful to be here. So thank you for having me.
Well, I'm glad that you pulled up, and I'm glad we actually had an opportunity to cross paths.
Myself as well.
And I'm glad that I was able to hook you and Munchie B up, link y'all up together.
Yep. And that's an honor, too, Munchie B in the flesh.
But I wanted to ask you something, Nina.
Yeah.
I learned that you actually have some hell of a hip-hop connections in San Diego with some very notable rappers over the years as you've been a rapper.
Yeah.
So you actually know Jayo Felony.
Jayo Felony, Mitchy Slick, Damu, all of them.
How about the guy that's in jail that gets a lot of coverage?
Don Diego.
Don Diego.
Yeah, everybody. His brother just got out from doing life. He was on, LWAP? And because of some new laws that were passed, he was able to get out.
So can you explain to us, like, how is it that you've been able to establish these relationships with all these top-tier San Diego rappers over the years?
I was born in Los Angeles, and I was out there for a while and then moved to San Diego. And then as a teenager, I was doing a lot of bad. I was getting bad, running the streets. So they moved me back to L.A. I started going to church in L.A., and I started rapping Christian in church, Christian rapper. And then that's a whole other story. I was hurt in the church more than I could be hurt in the world. So then I moved back to San Diego. And I don't know, I was like 15, 14. And at that point, I started hustling. I rapped every mic there was, every open mic there was, every performance I could do. And I was at that time, and I'm sure there's plenty of people that'll vouch, the only female rapper in San Diego that was doing this much, that was running everywhere. And that's how I knew everybody. Whether we got along or not, they'll always mention that I was there.
Okay, I know Mitchy. I know Damu. I ain't never met Jayo before.
Yeah, Jayo is good people too. Everyone's good. Mitchy Slick, he's a positive dude doing his thing. I wish much success for everybody. My goal was always, if I'm ever able to get to a place where I'm making a whole lot of money, that I could come back and help people's dreams come true.
So how long have you've been rapping after the Christian?
Well, I started a little bit before because my brother was making beats. And him and his boys would always be hanging out, and I'd want to hang out with them, too. So I was like, oh, I could rap, too. And that's when I started rapping. And then I moved to L.A. and did it in a church. And then came back, and now I'm here.
You had a tomboy face?
When I started rapping, yeah.
You know why
I started smoking weed at that time, too. And then when you're smoking weed, you get, I get self-conscious. So then I'd go put some jeans on. And
No, I asked that right because we ain't got to say his name either, but Alex had mediated something between you and this one dude.
I know. I'm like, oh, that doesn't help for my argument because I'm coming out rough.
You was talking, ish. I was like, oh, yeah, she ain't playing.
No, but you should have
could tell
heard.
you had some brothers or you was hanging with the boys.
Oh, yeah, my brother.
You was standing your ground.
For sure. But a lot of that, standing my ground, came from a lot of pain and a lot of having to explain myself to people that don't matter. Mm-hmm. And being a female rapper.
Right.
So, but, yeah. Did you hear the conversation, though?
What, the one when you was standing your ground?
Yeah.
Well,
this, like, I mean, I'm not just popping off like that. Like, talk about disrespect. Like.
Oh, the person disrespected
Yeah, like,
you?
What?
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't know what you're used to, but.
Yeah, that conversation
Relax.
went south real.
Yeah, I didn't know how it started. I just know he tried to mediate it, and then the mediation kind of went haywire for a minute, then it got back on track.
Yeah, because of Alex, he was able to fix it.
No, Alex done fixed a couple things, though.
Yeah, and that's why I'm grateful. Like, I hope people appreciate who you are and what you bring because there's something that you're able to fix things.
He mediated that. Mm-hmm. He mediated Spider-Loc and Bosco. Mm-hmm. He squashed it with me. What's that boy name? Reggie Wright Me and Reggie Wright was
wow.
going back and forth. He, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying, dead at that. Like, okay, you be playing peacemaker around here, Alex.
See, that's a respect people have for Alex.
Yeah, I was actually present also during the F-13 East Coast Crip truce talks,
Oh yeah.
which was incredible.
Uh-huh.
I had predicted that was going to happen in April of 2019. I had no idea how it would happen, and then here we are in September of 2019, and it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I was there. I really was present for the Queen Streets, NHPs, and the Inglewood 13s.
Even though it didn't last, but it was
Yeah.
it was for a little, you know what I'm saying?
I think it might have went from that was January of 2020. I think by 2022 it kind of went left.
Right.
Yeah, but we could bring that back. We can fix that back. That's not a hard one to deal with.
Which one?
The I-13s,
I don't think so.
because they all have history of being friendly at one point in previous generations. And those guys from the previous generations are very instrumental when they come to the table, because they're able to tell their youngsters, like, look, this is my brother. I know his mom. His mom used to cook us dinner, you know. That's how it was between the I-13s and the NHPs and Queen Streets previous generations.
But now the Inglewood families is in play, so that's more fuel to it. And like, you know, now I think it's gonna be, because of that factor, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's where the Munchie Bees come into play. When Skip decides to have that round table, I'm sure you're gonna be right there.
I'll be getting them calls.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't like seeing a lot of people going back and forth online. So, you know,
No, you optimistic? Or you be like, never say never. I'm like, never. You like, never say never.
hey man, if the United States can drop 2 bombs on Japan, Nagasaki, and Hiroshima,
Hiroshima.
and Japan is a friend of the United States now. Like, if you was Japanese back in the 40s or 50s, you'd be saying, I'm never going to like America. They dropped 2 bombs on us, but now Japan is like one of America's best friends. And they annihilated 200,000 people.
All these higher ups and politicians all toe up. They criminals.
Yeah.
They worse than the gangbangers.
I you know what I call it? When I testify in court for criminal defense attorneys, I call what the governments do is macro level violence, and what street gangs do is micro level violence. At the end of the day, there's no difference. But we tend to accept macro level violence because governments are behind it.
That makes sense.
Whether it's Hamas in Israel, Croatia, Russia, India, Pakistan. That's macro level violence. And what is it over? It's over dumb shit.
No, that's what I said. They've been teaching us since I was in elementary. Violence is the answer. And they ain't trying to cough up the oil. We go bomb their ass, and they go, we better cough it up.
Yeah, sometimes violence. Sometimes governments only will make change if the threat of violence is there.
Right.
Like right now, we're seeing violence happening right down the street from where we're at here at the Street TV headquarters, and that's what comes with protest. I don't even believe there's any such thing as peaceful protests. A protest should not be peaceful. You think they were protesting peacefully during the 1800s when slavery was the law?
We from Cali where we ride in our rally. You heard what Tupac said?
Yeah. I mean, Nat Turner really turned it up when he decided to go against the government
Rebel.
during slavery.
Nat Turner is a beast.
And unfortunately, Nat Turner and his little crew killed 55 white people.
Christopher Dorner.
But that set the stage for slavery to be abolished at a future point, you know. So, but yeah, I have no
Because
problem.
that Martin Luther King approach was not gonna work.
No, Martin Luther King,
His approach did work.
his approach does. There's a role for his approach. You know.
Well,
So you got the Malcolm X and you got the Martin Luther King approach. Which one you took? What you think took more effect? 60-40 type percentage. Like?
Ooh, that's tough, Munch. Let me think, because you need an orator, and Martin Luther King was an incredible orator. You need a spokesperson to express and articulate what the grievances are.
Right.
And whether or not he agrees with the violence or not, when he goes home and he smokes that pack of cigarettes, he's watching the TV and he's saying, "Do y'all thing," you know.
Hey, no. For change and stuff, and for stuff to go around, you do need the radical type, and then the peaceful person. You know what I'm saying? Because the person that's more so the peaceful person could communicate better.
Absolutely.
Right.
You need that spokesperson. And, you know, there was an incident that happened in San Diego, Nina. This happened a long time ago. I was just a kid, but it must still be talked about. But it's the only time I know of, where a black man shot and killed a police officer and got acquitted on the basis of self-defense.
What year was this?
1984, Sagon Penn.
Okay.
You familiar with the Sagon Penn case?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Sagon Penn, yeah, he shot and killed a police officer during a scuffle. The police officer was harassing him. Sagon was a martial arts expert. Somehow he grabbed his gun, turned it on him, shot and killed him, and went on trial for it.
He had God on his side.
And he beat the case. But in the either late 99 or 2000, he committed suicide.
Oh, man.
He was suffering from depression. He went through a lot of mental illness. But
I wondered, did catching a body bother him?
absolutely,
ironic.
yeah, absolutely. He went through a lot from law enforcement community, kept harassing him. But yeah, I don't know of any other black person that shot and killed a cop and got
Got
acquitted.
away with it.
Yeah, and it turned out that cop was a corrupt cop. He was a racist cop, and the crazy part is either the cop's partner or another San Diego PD officer testified against him and for the defense of Sagon Penn, and that cop got ostracized.
Yeah, because they snitching on each other. They don't put that in a department.
Yeah, that cop ended up quitting and moved up north somewhere.
The boys club for real.
Yeah, you can't go against them even if you're part of them.
The police, they're a gang also. Just like the homies, we don't want to tell on each other. Ain't supposed to. They ain't supposed to tell on each other. You know what I mean?
But I'm surprised you haven't heard of that Sagon Penn. But it was 1984, 85.
They need to do a documentary on that.
There's a couple, but not professionally done. Not professionally done.
Oh, that's where you come in at.
Yeah, I was thinking about getting some people behind it.
84. That's the year my brother was born. Yeah, some San Diego natives that hop on, like, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause I know Mitchy, he up on it.
Oh yeah, all them San Diego. Every time I interview like a guy from down there, they know about Sagon Penn. In fact, Sagon Penn's name became a gang name. I forget what hood, yeah. So there's like a big Sagon, little Sagon, a baby Sagon.
That's tight.
Yeah, but not, well, it depends. If you're part of his family, you're like, damn, I don't want no gang members
I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
Sagon.
I wouldn't mind.
But-
like if I did that and they had like the Munchie gangsters or something.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, write that shit out.
Sagon got, he celebrated. His name is.
He defended himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit more about since we're talking about this macro level, micro level violence. They just brought in, I don't know, 600, 700, 800 Marines into the city of Los Angeles because Trump is doing these ICE raids, and the people are pissed. The people are pissed.
Why did they running in graduations, bro?
They're running up in Home Depot.
You can understand the ICE protests over the weekend here in Los Angeles without coming to and seeing a place like this. This is the Home Depot parking lot in the Cypress Park neighborhood of Los Angeles. And on Friday morning, before those protests began, there was reportedly an enforcement operation with federal agents where they showed up here and were looking for the day laborers. Those are not the most violent criminal offenders that Tom Homan and the Trump administration has historically said that they were targeting. It's very unusual to have an enforcement operation at a place like this, and that is the concern, that, as Tom Homan said to me,
we may be prioritizing public safety threats and national security threats, but if you're in the country legally, you're not off the table. There will be immigration enforcement.
Potentially including working people who wait on a corner like this in order for somebody to drive by and tell them, hey, I need help at my construction project or at my house. And so that's where things have changed here, how operationally things have changed, and how the feelings and the fear have increased here in Los Angeles because the posture of the federal agents has changed, especially when they show up at a place like this.
They in my hood on Crenshaw, Manchester. They all in Compton on Atlantic. They everywhere, bro. But why the graduations, bro? Like, it's supposed to be like this kid, big day. They supposed to remember forever, throw they cap up, and then they parents is running out the back door trying to get away.
Yeah, that's where the line gets crossed because I had a lot of, I had a lot of support, I guess, for the Republican Party before all this. A lot of support, a do or die support, because a lot of the rules made sense that they wanted to pass.
See, and you asked me before we started recording.
Like what happened that, because Munchie told me that he really dislikes Trump.
Right.
And I asked him what made him see it that way. What made him feel that way?
All right, so like right now, a lot of people being affected. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't just the Mexicans. Like I got friends as immigrants that's Belizeans. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I got an ex-girlfriend. She from Trinidad. Her parents, it sounded like they just left Trinidad yesterday. They probably didn't know. They should just still show. I don't know, but and like I just said, with the running into graduations, and then it affected the border education to where like people LAUSD, they losing their jobs, Job Corps. You know what I'm saying? That my daughter could possibly want to go. You know what I'm saying? And they defunding the gang of things that need to be, I think, be in place. Even housing authority, people that got like with Section 8, and he is stripping everything. You know what I'm saying?
So, can I say something?
Go ahead.
Okay, so like my initial support for, oh my God, it's complicated. Okay, please don't judge me off. Just get to know me. Okay, so my initial support for Trump came several years ago, and it came because there was, during COVID, there was pictures going around that showed Hispanics in cages, and the reports were saying these are Trump's cages. Those pictures were Obama's. They came from his term, and those were Mexicans that were in cages during Obama's term. And that simple fact in itself had me looking at Trump different, that they're lying. And a lot of us have experience with people lying on them. And from there, I started looking into the policies, and things started to make a lot more sense to me than what the Democrats were coming for. And then Munchie right now, he said that Trump's getting rid of all of these programs. And then that's going to outrage you, and it's going to hurt you because people that really need that aren't going to be able to get it. That is not true. We have to look deeper into these things. He's removing it from the federal so that states can run their own programs. So he's taking Section 8 away from federal, so it's not their responsibility anymore, and giving it to California. If California wants to give us a house for half off or for $10 a month, they're going to do that. So it's not going to stop.
So hold on. So you saying Section 8 got to do what you mean? You said
Section 8 was a federal grant. So Trump is taking it away from the feds and saying, let the states do what they want to do. So if California wants to give us a Section 8 house, or they'll come up with their own things.
Yeah, but during a transition from federal
Then we got
to
to
state,
hold on. We got to hold on,
that-
and that's something we don't want to do. We don't want to wait. We'd rather run the street and yell and scream and just wait. Sometimes, if I've been off topic, but I've been in the gym. I've been trying to lose weight. It takes a lot of dedication to get there, and sometimes it takes pain.
I don't trust states to implement a housing program though, because the states will lean towards the owners of properties, and then more laws will have to be put in place to protect the residents.
How about we give it a chance? How about we all just give it a chance?
But why fix something that's already working?
Because maybe it's not. Because a lot of people are getting away with. I mean, I know when I was a kid, I don't know, when I was in elementary school, people were on Section 8, and now as a grown-ass woman, beyond grown, those same people are in Section 8. And I think at some time, and I was on food stamps because I had a son so young. I was on food stamps. I'll say maybe like 15, 16 years. So I'm someone, I just now, because I finally filed my taxes, I just recently got off Medi-Cal insurance. So you're talking to someone who has stood in those lines, okay, who was hungry and who went through a lot of pain to get to where I'm at today. I just now got off Medi-Cal.
President Trump's so-called skinny budget could have a big impact on affordable housing. The budget recommends a more than 40% budget cut for the Department of Housing and Urban Development, which provides funding for affordable housing projects and rental assistance.
The Trump 2026 budget would absolutely gut Section 8, cutting $33 billion from HUD and replacing rental support with capped state-run programs. This could leave millions without a safety net. And this comes just months after a funding boost from Congress. You're probably wondering how we went from relief to reversal.
Okay, what about retirement going up to 67 when you could have retired at 65 and got all your benefits, but now they're raising the age?
It's not right. There's a lot of things that aren't right. Having to retire at 65 isn't right.
Right.
Okay, you shouldn't have to wait that long. But if they're not an entrepreneur like you, they can't go out there and get it. That's hey, I'll retire at 65 from Geico or whatever it is. That's how their lives are set up. I'm not going to worry about that.
Okay, all right. And then I heard Obama he did do a lot of deportation, right? But where you get that those is his cages from?
It was
How could you confirm that?
If you can look it up on Google where the just the way I said it trumps Obama's cages, and Michelle Obama even came out and admitted those were his, but then she started her thing out with, yes, those pictures were during Obama's presidential campaign, and then the next breath was why Trump is such a bad guy. And I just don't keep it. I just, there's just something there that I think it may not happen in my lifetime.
I think all presidents do some negative gangster
Everybody.
stuff.
I don't trust nobody. And you know what? And Trump, I can't. There's something about him where he likes to get people's goat. He likes to rub it in. Some of the stuff he does, like wanting to change. What was it? New Mexico or something? To
The
Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
Oh, stop! Knock it off now. Stop.
No,
You're doing too much.
He can't change that at all.
And we're going to be announcing a future date pretty soon. We're going to change because we do most of the work there and it's ours. We're going to be changing sort of the opposite of Biden, where he's closing everything up, essentially getting rid of $50 to $60 trillion worth of assets. We're going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, which has a beautiful ring that covers a lot of territory. The Gulf of America, what a beautiful name.
Like little things like that, he's being passive aggressive, but a lot of things make sense. If you build a house and you run that house like a business, you're gonna tell people to get the hell out of here.
But I'm just trying to figure out how you get 34 felonies, get found guilty, and then become president. When if I'm trying to get an apartment and they looking at my background, I got felonies and then I can't get this apartment, get denied.
Former President Donald Trump has been found guilty on all 34 charges against him.
It's true, and it shouldn't be that way. That's not fair. But if enough people support you, you're going to get in that apartment.
And then you on the immigrants, but I think the first lady, she got broken English. She can't be from America. She can't be. And then you do talking about some, just grab her by the pussy. Like, man, if I said that, then I'd be on my way to the county jail or getting sued.
You ain't never say that?
She wanted.
You ain't never said that.
She probably wanted me to say it though. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, but him, like, I don't know, man.
All right, I'm gonna play a quick clip about the protest. Can you make sure you put the volume up on the USB switch, please? Okay, here we go.
And President Trump ordered the deployment of 2,000 more California National Guard troops, making for a total of 4,000 over the objections of Governor Gavin Newsom, who was challenging the action in court. Our chief national correspondent, Matt Gutman, is on the scene for us there in L.A. Good morning, Matt.
Hey, good morning, Robin. It is entirely possible that by the end of today, we will see nearly 5,000 combined California National Guard and Marines deployed here in Southern California. The question is, where will they be housed? Where will they be sent? As you mentioned, California Governor Gavin Newsom insisting they are not needed here. And last night, we were out here just outside this federal complex watching an overwhelming number of local law enforcement break up protests of about several hundred people here much more quickly than they had in previous nights. Overnight, hundreds of police in riot gear facing down protesters for a fourth consecutive night of clashes. The administration now making the unprecedented move of dispatching 700 active duty Marines to the streets of Los Angeles and increasing the California National Guard presence to over 4,000. Throughout much of the day, a quiet tension had settled over the city. That didn't stop the administration from bypassing the governor, who said he did not ask for this support and doesn't want it.
You can see how much smoke is being deployed on the other side by the LAPD. That is, these officers are moving people away.
All right, well, tonight it's going to be a different type of situation because we're going to have real soldiers in the streets. And the last time we had real soldiers in the streets shooting people up, can y'all guess what year that was here in L.A.?
92?
92.
Mm-hmm. Watts riots?
No, the Watts riots was 65.
65.
1992.
Yeah.
And during that day, they killed 9 people. So, and that was the end of the riots. It was a wrap, you know. So I think tonight might be the last night for the chaos.
Well, maybe this will bring black and brown closer. You know, them gangs that don't really blend. You know, you got like the Crips in Long Beach and Longo, and you know what I mean, 18th Street and whoever they beef with and whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know, adversity be bringing people together. Like in '92, the Bloods and Crips was big parlaying, hanging out, barbecuing. You know what I'm saying?
There's been a lot of discussion about that, but some blacks are saying, some black Americans are saying this is not our fight.
Yeah.
So they're not really out there as deep as the Latinos are, obviously. But there are some blacks that want to be a part of the fight. So it's kind of split.
I don't think no matter what happens, there's always going to be sides on both sides that aren't going to want to get along or not want to be involved.
Right.
Some people just don't like the other. So it don't matter. And even if it is, it'll go for a while, and then we just go our separate ways all the time.
And get back to normal. Huh?
Then get back to normal. Another trauma.
Right.
Wait for the next one.
Wait for the next riot.
Wait for the next riot.
Yeah.
You were talking about the Rodney King riot. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, '92. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that was pretty vicious. Once the soldiers, I was seeing tanks going up and down all these streets, military tanks.
You were in this location.
I was in this. I was in the vicinity. I actually was a block away from this studio we're at now. I lived 1 block away, and there were tanks all over here.
Sheesh.
In '92.
Man,
but only on that last and third day did it get crazy.
If I was older, because I was
You'd be out there?
I would have been out there getting it in, looting and all that shit.
Oh,
back in
yeah, if we
92.
were there. Yeah, I'm getting me a TV.
What?
Not now,
Man,
though.
the
I don't
homie
know.
gonna be running down the street with couches, all kind of shit.
Well, there was a lot of people that broke into the Mac store in downtown LA last night. They broke into a jewelry store on Broadway, and then they broke into a shoe store. So we're going to see if it, I don't know if it's going to be like that tonight, but we'll see.
I wonder what jewelry store on Broadway.
Yeah, it was, I saw the footage of it. I didn't get the name of the store, but I'm sure that'll be advertised all later this week, which store. I don't know if they got jewelry out of it, but they broke into it, got in there. If I'm the jewelry store owner, I'm not having no jewelry in there during these days. And then we saw the Waymos, 5 Waymos went up in flames.
You know what a Waymo is? Those are cars that drive by itself, like instead of Uber or Lyft. Like
y'all don't have
there.
that in San Diego?
No, they call birds in San Diego.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they like the little scooters.
No. They're white cars with satellite technology, and they're self-driving, and they do like Uber and
I don't know, baby.
And what's the other company?
Lyft.
Uber and Lyft pickup.
Yeah.
But when they pick you up, there's no one in the car. It's self.
Hell no, really?
Yeah.
Have you been in one?
I haven't been in one yet, but I will get in one
Yeah?
real soon. Yeah,
Oh, I
and they
don't
say
know about
it's
that.
the prices are better than Uber and Lyft.
Yeah, I bet, because there's no telling what's gonna happen.
My whole thing, man. I'm from where I'm from, and I don't want to just get stalled at a light. You feel me?
Munchie, it breaks down at the light.
For real, and I'm on Slauson and Crenshaw. And, you know what I'm saying?
Imagine if you
the
were
door's
in
locked,
one.
you can't get out. Oh,
What?
hell no.
What if you were in one of those that was going through the downtown rally when they decided to
blow them up,
vandalize them?
Nah, they better not when I'm in it.
Yeah.
Nah, they got to do the ones by there's nobody. Hey, bro, I'm not the police. I got tattoo. I like their friend. Don't mess with this car. Not with me in it. Hell no. Skip this one.
No, but 5 of those cars went up in flames.
I bet.
Oh, did you see they actually burned a CHP vehicle, and several cop cars got
Good for all that. All that
vandalized.
is fine.
Right.
That was on that would have been on day 3 where all the cop cars got vandalized.
I just wish we were doing it for a reason, because all this is going to end with just people dying, people being hurt, losing their jobs because they can't go to work because they got shot. It's just, there's no point. What can this do?
Well, I think it shows that when you deploy ICE and you start snatching people out of their homes and their workplaces, it's going to have consequences.
Understood.
Yeah, definitely. And Gavin Newsom does not. None of the California politicians want this.
Yeah, of course, because someone else comes in and says they're in charge. No one wants to give their power away, and that's what Gavin's doing. But what did Gavin do 4 years ago? They wanted to impeach Gavin. Didn't California? They didn't want him in office anymore.
Yeah, it didn't work though.
It didn't work. So everybody has their days. So for him to stand up there and act like he's beyond flaw. He had the reins to do something with the immigration, and he didn't. He didn't do anything right.
What is it that he should be doing?
I'm not sure. I like, to be honest, I didn't look too much.
But wait up, immigration is a federal law.
Right.
Gavin Newsom is a state governor. So guess what? immigration doesn't fall under any governor. It's not their responsibility.
Didn't he have something to do with the borders, though, or being open, or?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
The border is a federal.
Why'd they want to
controlled-
impeach him?
I don't remember.
There was a reason, and that's all I'm saying. It's like,
Yeah, I ain't up on it.
him standing up there saying like all his negativities about how someone else is handling things. Like that again, you're supposed to be on the same team. You guys can go home and argue about it, but for him to be on the news talking about I'm gonna sue Trump and all, it's just so ridiculous. Like, dude, get it together.
I'm gonna have to agree with Gavin Newsom, because the federal, just like your point about Section 8 should be state by state. The opposite is happening now with the government sending federal troops into a state that can govern itself.
But isn't he saying they're not doing it? They're not taking control. I could have been driving down that street and got a rock thrown at us.
I know, but the reason why the protests, I feel, are so inflamed at this point is because of the presence of the federal troops, the presence of Homeland Security, the presence of Border Patrol. Their presence is bringing everyone out.
National Guard.
If you look at the footage of when the people were just protesting, it was just a group of people standing around protesting.
Mm-hmm.
Once the federal troops started coming out there and exerting their dominance, then people started throwing rocks, and then it became confrontational. So their presence brought out the confrontation, and that's where Gavin Newsom saying the mayor, we don't need this confrontation here, and that's why now we got to bring in soldiers.
This past weekend, federal agents conducted large-scale workplace raids in and around Los Angeles. Those raids continue as I speak. California is no stranger to immigration enforcement, but instead of focusing on undocumented immigrants with serious criminal records and people with final deportation orders, a strategy both parties have long supported, this administration is pushing mass deportations, indiscriminately targeting hardworking immigrant families, regardless of their roots or risk. What's happening right now is very different than anything we've seen before. On Saturday morning, when federal agents jumped out of an unmarked van near a Home Depot parking lot, they began grabbing people, a deliberate targeting of a heavily Latino suburb. A similar scene played out when a clothing company was raided downtown.
Now we got to bring in soldiers so that I could just end it all.
Trump said Newsom need to go to jail.
What's that?
Trump said Newsom
Get him out of
He
here.
need to be sent to jail.
Yeah.
To come and arrest him. Should he do it?
I would do it if I were Tom. I think it's great. Gavin likes the publicity, but I think it would be a great thing. He's done a terrible job. Look, I like Gavin Newsom. He's a nice guy, but he's grossly incompetent. Everybody knows. All you have to do is look at the little railroad he's building. It's about 100 times over budget. We're putting a flagpole over there. Under budget. I always do under budget.
What does your intel tell you about these people causing all the problems in LA?
Oh,
Are they people ICE is trying to deport, or are they professional
the
agitators?
people that are causing the problem are professional agitators. They're insurrectionists. They're bad people. They should be in jail. Thank you.
And he'd probably do it too. Let's see. I think we're all handling it the wrong way. I said my support for Trump. I can't see him telling them go into churches, go into graduations, go into.
Who else told him?
ICE has a boss. Isn't there someone that says, okay, troops, come in the room, this is what we're doing today?
No, Trump is in charge of all of this.
Yeah, but doesn't ICE have a boss? There's an ICE captain.
But the ICE captain got a boss.
You don't think the ICE captain is saying, I don't care, you get them in those schools, you get them in that.
He's taking orders from Washington, D.C.
Which Washington probably told him, just go get him.
That's Trump.
But he did. I just can't.
So what you saying? He didn't specify no graduation.
No, and you know that because you know that there's a warden and you know that there's jailers, and the jailers take it upon themselves to mistreat people.
Yeah,
I highly doubt the warden said go in there and kick all their asses.
This has been happening on day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and Washington, D.C. is basically saying continue on.
I just think my point is there's a gray area somewhere, and we all need to find it and do a little more research and try to understand before. If someone mistreats one of you guys right away, if I'm told someone mistreated one of you, I'd be upset and maybe want to run out there and do something. But all I'm saying is take a few minutes to understand where that stemmed from and where it came from. That's all my fight is.
I'm confused.
Just there's a reason these things are happening. Not to jump to conclusions right away.
Well, I do know that people who are not criminals are being picked up, and initially they said that ICE was only there to pick up people who were.
That's another thing I said.
considered offenders.
I don't agree with going into schools, going into homes, going after people who are trying. I think it's wrong.
Well, that's what Washington, D.C. has implemented. Not
think
only
it's
pick
wrong.
up criminals, but pick up other people as well.
I'm gonna give it to ICE on that. I'm not gonna agree.
ICE is
that
under the authority of Washington, D.C.
ICE also has a boss.
The boss is under the authority of Washington, D.C.
So you don't think there could be an ICE manager that's taking more initiative and more anger out than he was told to take?
Well, this is day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4.
I come from that position because I know that there's police captains that may not tell them to go kick everyone's ass, but that sergeant's still going to go out there and do it.
Listen, when LAPD officers are out here whipping people's ass, that's because the chief said, whip that ass.
Yeah, we can go on and on. I just, I feel you. I understand.
And you got to understand, in military...
I respect it. It's wrong. What's happening is wrong. Whoever's in charge of it, whoever told them to do it is wrong, regardless of my initial support for Trump. I think right now too many people are being hurt for me to justify that. And that's it. I need to do some more research. I need to look into things a bit more, but my empathy is with true victims.
I don't think anyone is going to complain that violent felons that are not citizens of the U.S. are being deported. It's almost hard to defend that, right?
Right.
I get that part. But we're hearing from families, and we're seeing interviews all over Los Angeles TV, is that this person is not a violent felon. This person's not a criminal. This person's a dad. This person's a mom. This person's a son or a daughter with no criminal history. And I think Trump said this is what he was going to do all along.
Right.
All right, get the criminals out. Couldn't agree more. Joining us, Todd Lyons, acting ICE director. Mr. Lyons, thank you for coming on. I just hoped you would help us. There's been a little bit conflicting back and forth. Let's get the criminals, okay? But if you've been here a while and you're a reliable worker on the farm or in the hotel or the restaurant, might that come last or a different policy? Can you explain where you are on this, sir?
Sure. First off, thanks for letting me come on and brag about the good work that ICE is doing. So, yeah, we're definitely sticking with President Trump's vision, and that we are focused on the worst of the worst, right? But under President Trump, we've been allowed to open up the entire immigration portfolio. So you have seen an increase in our worksite operations. You've seen an increase in our student visa screening, as well as some arrests. But I think really on the worksite portion, what you're seeing is we're actually going after those American businesses that are, exploiting human trafficking, forced labor, right? Things like that. And I think, the president and Secretary Noem, they would love to see American businesses taking advantage of the H-1B1 visas, paying that extra money and giving these people a lawful pathway to come in to build American businesses. But at the same time, we don't want American businesses exploiting forced labor, human trafficking. We found some instances of some unaccompanied minors who were lost in the system that we have found at some of these work sites. So that's what we are focused on. We're focused on the worst of the worst in the neighborhoods, especially ones in the largest sanctuary cities where a lot of these criminals are rearrested and then re-released just to go and offend again. It's and that's what the president has us doing. We're focused on those worst of the worst.
Yeah, round them all up. And somehow there are people who are actually citizens that are getting caught up in this thing too, because they got to prove that they're a U.S. citizen because they have a Latino last name or they look Latino or they look like a paisa.
Right.
They're getting rounded up as well.
My first name Swahili. I need to watch out. He'll try to send me back to Africa.
Yeah, I get stopped a lot when I'm coming in from, well, not a lot. The last couple times I haven't been stopped. But when I come back from Puerto Rico into the United States, I would get stopped once in a while because a lot of Dominicans try to come into the U.S. through Puerto Rico because Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory. So it's easier to access the United States from Puerto Rico than it is from the Dominican Republic. So I get pulled to the side, being accused of being Dominican, and I'm not Dominican. But I get it. I understand that those guys are doing a job to prevent Dominicans from coming into the United States. But hey, man, I'm for coming here. This was Mexico at one point. This was stolen land.
Yeah, I know. And we use that argument a lot. We're all free. This is all our world. But it's in 2025, it's not. So now there's a way to do things.
I know, but there's a history that we cannot just we can't allow outsiders to steal land
and
then
we're like 300 years.
And then deport people.
Oh yeah. If I as a full Mexican American, if I go to Mexico, I think I only have 13 days before I have to get the hell out of there. And they will grab me and they will take me back over. Now, if this is how Mexico operates, how come we look at America and we're so revolted and disgusted? If I can't go to Mexico being a Mexican, I can't.
Well, the United States passed the Immigration and Naturalization Act in 1986 under Ronald Reagan to allow what we have today.
This bill, the Immigration Reform and Control Act of 1986 that I'll sign in a few minutes, is the most comprehensive reform of our immigration laws since 1952. It's the product of one of the longest and most difficult legislative undertakings in the last 3 Congresses. Further, it's an excellent example of a truly successful bipartisan effort. The administration and the allies of immigration reform on both sides of the Capitol and both sides of the aisle worked together to accomplish these critically important reforms to control illegal immigration. In 1981, this administration asked the Congress to pass a comprehensive legislative package, including employer sanctions, other measures to increase enforcement of the immigration laws, and legalization. The Act provides these 3 essential components. Distance has not discouraged illegal immigration to the United States from all around the globe. The problem of illegal immigration should not, therefore, be seen as a problem between the United States and its neighbors. Our objective is only to establish a reasonable, fair, orderly, and secure system of immigration into this country, and not to discriminate in any way against particular nations or people. Future generations of Americans will be thankful for our efforts to humanely regain control of our borders and thereby preserve the value of one of the most sacred possessions of our people, American citizenship. So now, I'll get on with the signing and make this into law. Hope nothing happens to me between here and the table.
The right way, right? What was the ruling there?
It was very hard to get into the United States
Right.
prior to the Immigration and Naturalization Act of 1986. So now it's made a little bit easier. But of course,
People aren't taking it.
along the way, there are people that are just going to cross the border
Okay.
and then try to seize their citizenship after they get here.
And that's where all this is coming from. It was done wrong. Now put yourself, say you're California, you're America. This is who I am. You're gonna have some rules for yourself, how you want things done.
Yeah, but sometimes it's F the rules because the rules are unfair. Like Thurgood Marshall said, do the right thing and wait till the law catches up.
Okay, and the law caught up, so we can't be crying and breaking cameras and stealing computers and doing all we can't. And that's the only thing. And I said it's wrong. It's wrong the way things are happening, but I don't want to hear you crying about it because we decided to do it first and figure out what's going to happen later.
So
and there's nothing else. That's it.
So you're against the violent protesting?
I'm against being dumb, and I don't see anything coming out of that. We have to move strategically. You're gonna get hurt. You're gonna get arrested. You're gonna be taken away from your family. You might not be able to go to work. Like, let's be smart. At no point is stealing a computer or stealing jewelry gonna help the Mexicans stay here. It's not gonna help. My father, and I don't know if it was an excuse or not, but he's from Guadalajara. He always said he couldn't be in my life because he doesn't have his papers. And if he were to come visit me, he would be taken back to Mexico. So I have that type of experience in my life.
Well, I'm in a protest.
So meaning that I feel and I understand, but I don't know. A lot of the stuff we're doing is not going to benefit our purpose.
Well, I think in protest, you're going to get a mix of everything. You're going to get a mix of looting.
Mhm.
You're going to get a mix of expressing your grievances. That just comes with there's no way of having a protest and windows aren't going to get broken and stores aren't going to get looted. That's just every single riot going all the way back to the 19 teens, the race riots in Chicago, Detroit, and New York in the 19 teens, all the way to the civil rights riots of the 1960s. Stores got broken into to make a point.
No, I think it was to take the opportunity. Because to get some, it wasn't to make a point. If I'm out there fighting for you, my thought is, and I need to get that necklace first, and then I'm going to carry back on. My thought is I'm going to fight for you. So I think we're giving too much credit to, people steal TV.
Okay, look, Nat Turner killed children. Nat Turner was a slave in 1820. He killed kids.
Why?
Because they were white. He killed women because they were the wives of slave owners. Now people will say Nat Turner was wrong for that, but he was making a point.
Yeah, that's you're comparing white children to TVs.
I'm saying that people will argue.
No, I don't agree.
That violence is wrong.
That's not violence. That's thief. You're being a thief. You're and hey, I'd be there if someone said the jewelry store is open. I'd go get me some too. But I'm not gonna then hop in line and say I'm here to fight the cause.
That's part of the protest.
No, it's not.
That's part of I mean, I'm not saying I'm the architect of what protests are supposed to be.
But you're saying it's part of it. It's not.
That's the way they've always looked.
The greedy part of it.
Okay, have you ever heard of the Tulsa race riot when the white folks rioted in black-owned businesses? And
they were wrong for that. What are you doing?
With that, they made their point.
You getting what you can't get on a regular?
They didn't want black businesses in that part of the city anymore. They were tired of black folks being successful.
So is that why? So we don't want these businesses in our community? Is that why we're going in there?
Well, it depends. In 1992, guess who?
Because they're stealing from Mexican businesses too.
Oh, I don't know.
It doesn't make it. You have to know. It doesn't make sense.
It's too early to know who the owners of these businesses are. But in 1992, once everything was done with, and we looked at the businesses that were rioted, guess who the majority owners of those businesses were in 1992? Korean.
Asian.
Korean. Now, was it right to steal all this Korean stuff and burn all this Korean stuff?
Maybe that's where their hate comes from, because they have a long history of hate to the minorities, other minorities.
Well, a part of the 1992 riots was not just Rodney King, but it was Latasha Harlins getting shot in the head by a Korean store owner.
That I know.
So when people like you watch the news, why are these businesses being robbed? This makes no sense. Mm-hmm. Well, now that in hindsight, those are all Korean businesses. The blacks were mad at Koreans.
It's not people like me. I think it's ridiculous. Nothing at that point makes sense. If I have a problem with you, I'm gonna get you.
Well, like the black.
I'm not going in your house to get anything else. It's you.
Well,
and that's all that they should be out there marching to the police station, marching to ICE. Let's go into ICE and rip that building up.
Now I'm with the Black Panthers on this. Burn, mother effer, burn. Burn everything you can.
Yeah, let's burn everything, but get a TV while you're at it, because we want to watch what we did when we get home. Have some grace for that.
Well, people are gonna.
I highly doubt Malcolm X said, "Go get everything."
No, he's not going to say that, but he's not going to publicly criticize the person that did steal something.
Malcolm X said, "By any means necessary."
Yeah, by any means necessary.
No, he ain't say, "Get me a call while you're out there."
I just agreed with you. He did not say that, but he never publicly criticized those that did.
But I take it then you support the freedom-loving attempts of the peaceful marchers in Alabama and these places.
You don't get freedom peacefully. Freedom is never safeguarded peacefully. Anyone who is depriving you of freedom isn't deserving of a peaceful approach by the ones who are being deprived of their freedom.
Y'all both got good arguments. No, that's a good one. That's why I'm quiet.
There's some soldiers. Listen, there's some soldiers out there. Maybe we can end it with this. There's some soldiers out there that are marching and have their focus on ICE and getting ICE out of here, that haven't stepped foot in a store, and that's who I'm for. I'm for them. Their focus is there. I'm not gonna. All these other people that are taking the opportunity to go in the stores and get things may not even give a damn what ICE is doing. It's just an opportunity.
So you say it's probably better for these people that's out here marching, gear up, get some straps, and when you see these National Guards and shit, start busting on them.
If you're
not for real, because that's who you mad at.
Do something.
So direct it to who you angry at.
I want you to do something.
These people that's being deployed, trying to invade Los Angeles and do all this.
Yeah, get them the hell out of there.
Get up on them, not going these businesses that didn't do nothing to you, right?
No, exactly. They didn't do nothing to you. Okay. The same thing with last time they closed up the freeways when this first started, when Trump first thing started, they closed up the freeways. You don't know who you're hurting. There might be people on their way to the hospital. There might be people needing to go get their kid from school, and you're stopping them from doing that. You're hurting people that don't deserve the pain that you're expressing.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but I ain't gonna lie, I got a slight ignorance in me to where I might be one of the ones that want a TV.
I might be too, but don't praise me for it. Don't say I'm helping the cause.
No, but it's a part of the process though. To be honest, and then you don't get nobody attention when it's a peaceful process. They ain't gonna hear you.
I don't know. I think soldiers marching down, not touching anything or anyone, just marching will gain more. Strength is quiet. Power is quiet.
Okay, so like, do you got an argument for when Trump incited them people to go down to to the whatchamacallit, evade that.
January 6th.
Yeah, he never told them to go inside.
Yeah, he did. He said, "You're gonna march down to the what is it called, the Capitol."
March, baby. He didn't say go
No,
in
you
there.
go in there and we go. Nah, man. If we can find a clip, and he incited him. He said, and he said, "I'm gonna be right there with you," and then he wasn't.
Now it is up to Congress to confront this egregious assault on our democracy. And after this, we're going to walk down, and I'll be there with you. We're going to walk down. We're going to walk down anyone you want, but I think right here we're going to walk down to the Capitol. And we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women. And we're probably not going to be cheering so much for some of them. Because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength and you have to be strong.
He
ain't dumb, bro. Y'all go in there.
Yeah, but that's what he said. And then,
and all the people who were found guilty of that, guess what?
Hearted him.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying
Gangsta, right?
when they were in court and they asked them, "Why did you guys do this?" Guess what their answer was?
You're gonna blame
the big homie Trump.
Trump.
Well, I would blame him too. So I could get out of here. He told me to do it, but I never heard him say. Just like Malcolm, we never heard him say. I never heard Trump say go in there. He said march down there. If they took it upon themselves to want to get inside and start going crazy,
He didn't say verbatim, like go kick some ass. He was insinuating.
He clearly incited that.
He incited
blow it
that.
up, yeah.
Like
well, that's why he's a felon, isn't it?
a president that's a felon is crazy.
No, but that should be motivation for you. You
And
can
if
do
I
whatever
steal
you
some
want.
shoes from Foot Locker, I can't work at Vons at the grocery store because I got theft on my shit. But he got 34 felonies.
That's true. That's true. That needs to change too. A lot needs to change.
Well, I'll say this on this. We'll wrap it up on here. The most successful riots in American history were the civil rights riots of the 1960s.
Well, this one's not done yet.
That happened all across the country, from Los Angeles to Detroit. And all of those riots, now we can look in hindsight, were very successful because they made change in Washington, D.C. People stole TVs too, Nina.
Hey, I'm
Don't be no thief,
I'm
baby.
gonna tell you an example of you could call it a peaceful process, peaceful protest that actually be working is in the prisons when they do the hunger strikes.
Oh yeah, 2013 hunger strikes.
That be working, because now you affecting them like the same way the state because I got a childhood friend that was Belizean. He did his thing when he was younger. Then when he got out of prison, they deported him back to Belize. But why you just don't send him back to Belize to do his time?
Yeah.
But they want you to sit in this California prison because you was a dollar sign, because you worth money long as you sit on that bunk. So they could get they could get up out of you because you worth something. Then when you released, then they want to send you back to Belize or wherever you come from. Like, if you don't want them here, why you just don't, when he commit the crime, send him back to Belize or Mexico or...
They're going to get theirs.
Right. Man, I don't know.
Now, I wanted to talk to Nina about this topic of the N-word and Latinos, because I remember you posted on your Instagram about it. You was kind of turned off by some of the Latino rappers that do use it, but there are quite a few who don't, such as... your boy Munchie. Lefty.
When I interviewed him, he spoke on how he don't use the N-word.
He publicly said it. And it just, I watched a clip yesterday of some F-13s who are from South LA, grew up around blacks, and they use it all day, every day. And I just wanted to get your whole viewpoint on the N-word and Latinos.
Yeah, I don't think it's something we should say at all. I don't know. It's disheartening because I guess times have changed. You're saying now you see a Mexican gang saying it. To be able to change that way of thinking, I don't think is ever going to happen. But it's not something for us to say. Regardless if your homeboys think it's cool, regardless if the black community around you think it's cool, I bet their mothers don't. There's African Americans out there that don't like it. So at least for one of them, let's just not say it.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say it. It's disrespectful. Regardless if my black homies think it's disrespectful or not, it is.
Yeah, I think no one should use the word to keep it real. But,
My dad don't. My dad hate that word.
Yeah. So imagine me if I have to change the way I speak when I meet your father because he don't like it. So how about I just don't say it?
But you know, a lot of the Mexicans that grew up in South LA that do say it, when they get to prison,
They're gonna stop.
and they're around the big homies, they don't say
They're
it.
gonna get socked in the mouth.
And if they do say it, they get reprimanded, and they say, "Hey, we don't say that word here."
Good.
So there's a structure, and I'm assuming this probably on only a level 4 a level 4, maybe level 3 prison, right, Munch? Probably on a level 1 and 2. It's
level 3, level 4. You ain't gonna hear that, but you got a level 1, level 2. Depending if you're around somebody that's structured up, they ain't gonna go for it either though.
There's little heart on the level 1 or level 2, but you get up there, and that's who I'm speaking for. They don't like it. Let's not say it. And if you're saying it out here all free-nilly, and then you go to prison and you have to watch your mouth, I don't like it. Stop.
But here in LA, have noticed that Latinos that are from gangs where it's predominantly Latino communities and non-black, such as East LA, Boyle Heights, the Valley, those Latinos tend to use the N-word less. The Latinos that grew up in South LA, around all the black neighborhoods, they use it far more. So like the Florences, the Southside Florences, they heavily use it. I'm sure most of all the Latinos in Inglewood, the I-13s, they heavily use it because of that influence of growing up and going to school with other black students.
Right.
Like a loss of identity. They don't know who they are.
Well, I think that their identity is merged in with the community that you grew up in.
You could be Mexican and still be in that community and not forget who you are. And I think a lot of them forget, or they think they're the same, and you're not.
Well,
they're minorities. We come from a lot of the same pain, but you're not black.
But they're Mexicans that grew up in South Los Angeles. It's different.
That's it.
It's a different experience.
When they go home, they're in a Mexican home, and there's some respect. Their moms don't want them talking like that either. It's just a lack of respect. That's all. It's just be respectful. If you have to go to prison and change the way you talk, if you go in front of Munchie's dad and have to change the way you talk, then just stop. You know, I don't want to hear it. That's just I take it as disrespectful. I don't like to hear it. My son's black, half black. But
does he must use it then?
He don't like it.
Oh, he doesn't.
Okay, and that's him say he just don't like it. So this is a black boy telling me he don't like it.
No, but certain communities, our cultures blend. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you go to the grape streets, they got the Watts Video grapes over there. Then you got the grape streets, and they share the projects in the community together. And they walking in and out each other's houses. They kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Or you got in the 20s with the Harpies, which is the Mexicans, and then you got the 20 Bloods that they grew up together and played together, and they shit kind of blend, like, you know what I'm saying?
So they call themselves
on my street. We hear the corn man. We running outside about to get us a corn. Baby, like what? Like
do the black kids think like do they call themselves like Mexican and brown boy and stuff like that?
Hold on, do the blacks what?
Call themselves brown boy and like.
Call the Mexicans that?
Call themselves that.
Oh no, hell no. What you mean, brown boy?
Then why do the Mexicans call themselves?
Brown? The
N-word.
Man, because it turned into some like colloquialism, some slang, and like you said, I don't think nobody should say it because how the word was derived. You know what I'm saying? But I guess they didn't switch the meaning or whatever. But and then like when you make it like sound cool and you got YG my and then
just rolls off the tongue, huh?
You're right. Then you probably got Beretta. She liked the song and what she got every other word. Stop rapping and like you know what I'm saying. So we make it cool. I don't think nobody should say it, even though I got a habit of saying it.
Yeah.
It ain't a good word for nobody.
But especially Mexicans.
Hey, but see how
or Asians. Have you heard Asian?
The most diverse city out here is Long Beach. They got
the Cambodians say it.
Cambodians,
I've heard it.
Asians, Mexicans, blacks. They got everything in Long Beach. So
it just does something to me when I hear it. It's like, what? What did you just say?
I think I even heard Stupid Young from Long Beach, Cambodian rapper, speak on it and say how he's cool with it.
He has a right to say it
because he grew up with the Long Beach 20 Crips down there, and that's all he heard as a kid. Even though he comes from a Cambodian family.
Cambodian family he grew up with.
Well, are you familiar with him?
I always thought his name was like ridiculous.
Well, I think Stupid Young is Stupid Dumb, right?
Yeah, okay. I didn't know if he was your buddy or not.
No, because, okay, you got this rap group called the Stinc Team. Right. And their name come from because they flockers, they burglarize houses, and they target Asians.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So, and he's what?
Cambodian.
Oh, that's all in the same.
Yeah, that's the Southeast Asian.
So they call themselves the Stinc Team because they say that the Asians they breath stink.
Oh wow, really?
So he on song after song after song with these dudes called the Stinc Team, but the name of that group is disrespecting your people. So I'm like, him using the word N-word, like he whatever he said.
He already don't care about nobody.
What you said don't even matter because you don't stand on nothing anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
You stand on absolutely nothing. So the N word conversation, he can't even touch on that. He gotta
start with the self-hate first.
He need to delete all them songs off his YouTube and off his diss show first that he did with them dudes that's disrespecting his ancestors.
I didn't know the history of the Stinc Team
I didn't
name
either.
was derived from that.
Yeah, the stink, like the chink, stinky, chinky, talking about like they breath stinking. Like it's the Stinc Team. That's how they came with the shit.
I didn't know that.
Right.
Interesting.
So that's why I say stupid young is stupid dumb.
Yeah, I go with that.
Stupido.
Stupido.
Nah, I like Stupid Young.
Who would call themselves stupid though?
Well, he's.
Oh, here we go with the excuses.
No.
Oh, well, his granddaddy.
No. You got to, you know, they're like, oh, I'm going stupid, like, or in the Bay, like, I'm going dumb. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's in the Bay.
Yeah, but like,
we out here.
Yeah,
Is
but
he from the Bay?
No, he's from Long Beach.
All right.
He's a Asian Crip.
Getting a headache.
All I know is if I wouldn't I wouldn't want to play for the team called the Rancho Cucamonga Cracker Killers, and I'm a white boy.
Oh shit! Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so why would you do music with these dudes and they call it the Stinc Team and they disrespecting your people?
Get in where you can get.
I don't even think he's looking at it that deep.
No, he just want to get on the song and shake his ass.
Yeah. Hey, he's been one of the most successful Asian rappers in Los Angeles history.
I don't know how many there are that he's.
There's not a whole lot. I mean, a lot have come and gone.
Yeah.
Never really been able to,
They have a hard time
be stable. Yeah,
to
in
be
general.
accepted.
In general, I think Jen from the East Coast was one of the first Asian rappers that was signed to Rough Riders with DMX and them.
Oh yeah, I remember him.
But it's been very difficult for Asians to break into hip hop, even though you hit the streets and there's 100 Asians rapping.
Yeah.
But for them to make it is
Asians,
difficult.
And like they're very talented and they can sing their ass off. But I've never seen one that's been able to reach success in America.
Well,
mainstream.
A lot of us got it hard. A lot of races. We have a lot, and I know my sisters are half Filipino, so I've experienced a lot of that side of the family, and they have it hard too. A lot of talent, and they'll probably never get the chance. Because
hey, rap, and most entertainment is a black sport, and it's gonna. We want to see black artists. I think when it comes to entertainment, no matter how talented other people are, non-blacks that are around, we still want to see the black artist, and it's very shocking when a non-black can do it too. Yeah. That's why Eminem is such a phenom. Yeah. Someone the other day was asking a question online: who's the best rapper out right now? And a lot of people's answer was Eminem.
Drake.
And yeah, Drake came.
No. I mean Kendrick. Because Kendrick is currently Kendrick is the best rapper.
But can you imagine if 100 years from now we look at who was the best rapper and the answer is a white guy? Which could possibly be.
I like Kevin Gates. I wouldn't say Kendrick Lamar is the best.
I think Kendrick a body.
Wait, you listen and you really think like bars.
Bring that mic to you. There.
Bars right there. He said mustard bars. I think he has a more aura, more power, more reasoning for what he's doing. But as far as best rapper, based on music and lyrics,
Kendrick.
That's why, because his music and his lyrics or his purpose makes him the best.
Who, Eminem?
Your purpose ain't got nothing to do with what type of musician you is.
I mean, you could define best for yourself because best is subjective.
We talking about talent-wise, accolades,
overall,
impact.
Especially whenever you get the title as the top rapper of the year, which no doubt 2024 was Kendrick Lamar.
Facts.
You end up getting on that all-time list somewhere. When you're and he might be the top rapper of 2025, depending on his tour and if he drops something else.
I think Eminem he top 5 though.
Yeah, Eminem. You can't. It's hard to. Man, I can't believe how much Spider does not like Eminem at all. He doesn't give him
because 50 Cent come from the Eminem tree and 50 Cent dropped Spider.
What happened? Where did Spider go?
What recently?
No, because I know that there was a little issue there, but I didn't know it was everywhere.
What you talking about? That's a whole long story.
I know he's not here.
Yeah,
I know that.
Oh.
I didn't bring Spider up to talk about that. I just brought him up because he will sit here and defend how Eminem is not a top-tiered rapper. In fact, he had Hoodie Hood here, and Hoodie Hood said Eminem's one of my top rappers. So he said, spit me a bar of Eminem. Like, and you can't just spit a bar randomly if you're not prepared for it.
Yeah.
Nowadays, everybody want to talk. They got something to say. When none come out, when they move.
So you, because I
forgot about Drake.
I'll say.
I was gonna say Mom Spaghetti.
Okay, can you spit? Who's your favorite rapper right now?
Kevin Gates.
Kevin Gates. Spit me some bars of Kevin Gates right now. I'm doing a spider look, by the way. Spit me some Kevin Gates bars right now.
Love Bug. Have you heard that song, Love Bug? That's
he wants you to spit a bar.
I don't know, but I can't remember.
That's my point. Just because you can't remember or can't think, that doesn't mean Kevin Gates ain't who he is, right?
Exactly.
So he got Hoodie Hood on that because he's saying Hoodie Hood spit a bar of that guy, and it's like, bro, Eminem is. I like Eminem. That's all it is. You know,
he top 5, but Eminem, his should be kind of hard to remember and recite because he raps so fast and.
Okay, so you just spit an Eminem bar, right, Munch?
Right,
okay,
right.
Can you spit another Eminem bar?
Yeah, because he say so much shock value shit. You remember the crazy shit he say.
I can't. I can honestly not spit an Eminem bar.
I can rap the I'm Slim Shady on it. Is that too easy?
I'm Slim Shady.
You know, on the real Shady on the ghost. Please stand up. Like,
no, that's the
he knows
that's
easy.
the hook.
Yeah.
That's the hook.
But you talking about like verse.
Yeah, some lines.
Yeah, if it came out, I could rap along to it.
How about Tupac?
Tupac?
Everybody. He got the most quotables.
Yeah, he got it. He definitely got it.
I'm even like, I don't know.
Can you spit a Tupac bar, Nina?
I have to, first off, in the click you claim, West Side till we ride, come equipped with game.
Hit him up.
You claim to be a player, but your wife.
Yeah.
Bad boy for life. Okay.
I think Tupac is too easy. To like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ain't
What
nothing
do you
but
you
gangsta
thinking?
party. At the same time, they trying to take mine. Doing my thing. And you know what I'm saying? Like,
But it's hard, right?
dear mama.
Dear mama.
Even as a crack fiend, mama.
You still
Always
was a black queen,
mama. Yeah, like Tupac, that's too easy. You have to. I'm gonna tell you who somebody would put up there, but you ain't gonna be able to quote him because he rapped too fucking like. Who go quote Busta Rhymes shit? I can't.
Nah.
But he hard.
I'm gonna tell you one of the best rappers that can freestyle and sit there on the mic for 10 minutes straight is Black Thought, and I can't.
I don't even know who that is, bro.
Oh, you don't know Black Thought? Oh my god.
I was born too late.
The Roots.
Yeah.
If you are worried
I don't think Black Thought is that old though. How old is Black
Probably
Thought?
like 45.
How old is Black Thought? Black Thought is one of the
But
most,
he was also a niche rapper. That was more like bohemian.
one of the most creative MCs ever. But you know he doesn't have hits. He doesn't make music, quote unquote. But can he rap? Absolutely.
There's a lot of people that can rap that we'll never hear about.
Yeah, but a lot of people can rap, but they can't make a good song.
True.
Like you gotta know how to make catchy little. You know what I'm saying?
How do we even get on this topic?
What do we got else?
We was talking about because we was trying to give.
Oh, we went from
Eminem
the
his
N word.
credentials.
Yeah, we went from the N word to
Oh, since we on it, well, Eminem, my ninth grade
Ooh.
teacher played the thing when he was nigga, black, bitch,
Yeah.
and all that, but the world forgave him.
They did. But that was on an underground mixtape. He never used the N word on a commercial song.
But he did that. He said he was hurt. A black woman hurt him, and he black bitch and with the hard ER. And,
He really said all that?
yes, ma'am.
I heard the I heard the rumors, but I didn't.
No, I was in ninth grade, and my English teacher brought it in.
Oui.
He played it for us.
Oh, that.
Shout out Miss Gagne, so cute ass. I know she out here somewhere.
So let's see. What who else do we have? We have how we met a certain individual.
Who's that? Your friend Melvin Banks?
That's not my friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, please don't do that.
I thought it was
No.
when we first linked up.
I tried to befriend him because I feel bad. I felt bad.
So you tried a friendship with him.
I tried, and that, you know what? I'm a good person I could tell who people are.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a good read of character, and that was one that I learned my lesson on. That
So you misjudged. On that
I
one.
misjudged completely, and I even had to apologize to Alex because, I was warned about this person. I was warned by all of the freaking computer about this person, and I'm real pro underdog, so I don't like seeing people mistreated. I felt bad when I saw him getting socked up in that restroom. I thought it did something to his brain, and I think it did. It did something to his brain. Even if he wanted to be a friend to someone, I don't think he could because he lies so much. So I first befriended this person because I felt bad for him, and I know that I'm a strong woman, so I'm able to help. in certain ways. I've never met him in person. It was just online. And I felt bad about everyone attacking him. I thought that I could support him. I'm pro underdog. And he basically taught me why people don't like him and shouldn't like him and shouldn't trust him.
I think everyone has their own reason why they don't like him, for those that don't like him. And there's a lot of people that aren't even on the internet that I talk to from different hoods that...
It's a joke. Your name comes up and it's a joke.
Yeah.
And it's never going to change. And I told him, man, you and I both know. You know, you could run these games, you could play, you could do whatever you want to do, but you and I both know the truth. And that's how I operate with everybody. We both know. So whatever you want to run off with and say and do, I don't even care.
I don't even have like a personal problem with the dude. I never met him face to face. He reached out to me. He reached out to me in 2016 on his Facebook page asking if I would do an interview with him. And I never responded to that one. And then he reached out again in 2018. And I said, I'll do an interview. When he reached out to me in 2018, I was actually in Puerto Rico. I was actually sitting on a balcony with my uncle when I had the conversation with him and Angel. I said, yeah, we'll do an interview. This was 2018, early 2018, because we had just had a hurricane. We had a devastating hurricane. And I told him when I come back to L.A., we'll link up. And it just never happened. And then he reached out to me again in 2021 or 2022, probably 2021, saying he wanted to do an interview. And what baffles me is he goes on the internet and says, I don't like that channel. I never liked that channel. They told me to don't do an interview for Street TV.
Alex is mad at me because he used to try to interview me all the time. You know what I'm saying? When I was like in good standing with the Hollies. And the Hollies used to tell me not to do the interview. And I told him one day, look, the homie said don't that interview, and plus I don't want to do Street TV because don't nobody over there blow up. You know, he act like a female. He been mad ever since, been trying to dig in my background, trying to find things about me. He's mad for a female reason, bro.
But I have all the texts and DMs of this guy basically begging to come on the platform.
Just called you right now for my number, and I sent you a text too.
Look at that's him in a nutshell. It's strange. It's weird. It's lies. It's brain damage.
And I was willing to interview the guy in 2018. I mean, I wish I would have, because I would have had this classic interview that would be probably wildly entertaining that we could probably enjoy and laugh at if I did do the 2018 interview. But here's the thing, and I think this is the reason why the 2018 interview didn't happen. And I don't know. This is just my speculation, but I pull up in your hood when we do interviews. And in 2018, he was having issues with his hood, Hollywood. So it would have been difficult for him to post up in Hollywood and then have me and my crew come there and do an interview with him having the issues that he was having. So I think that might have been one of the reasons why the 2018 interview didn't happen. I don't know, but he ended up having issues with all the guys over there, and he doesn't pull up over there to do interviews.
Yeah.
He doesn't even do interviews in person except for No Jumper.
Yeah.
You know.
And then he hires security for that day.
Yeah, he hires security, and he comes like 10 to 15 deep because of so many, I guess, issues he has.
I mean, if you find yourself hanging around Snoopy, like, who are you? What kind of person are you? He lies a lot, and I think we can go back to his interview with Adam, where Adam asked if his children were his children, and to the whole world, he told the world that his children weren't his.
All three of them wasn't his.
And what was his evidence that they weren't his?
He said he did a test.
There you go. He said he did a DNA test, and he confirmed that those weren't his kids.
Sorry to be the one to break your news, but I just did a blood test on all three of the babies.
None of them are yours.
Am I lying?
That must be the best feeling on earth.
Let me tell you something.
Although I'm sure you love the kids and everything, so that must be kind of weird.
Them kids, them ain't mine. I'm gonna keep it real. Since them mother was born, I've been stressed. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm so happy that them kids ain't mine. So everybody can stop saying, that's Snoopy BadAzz, baby mama, Snoopy BadAzz, ex, and all that. Y'all can kill that because we got the DNA test. Them are not my kids.
Do you think that she was running around getting pregnant by whoever and then just coming back to you each time and just being like, it's yours?
That's exactly what I think was happening.
That's wild.
Now that it comes out, because think about it, man. Why would you speak that bad about somebody that you got 3 kids with. But now that it comes out that they're not mine, it makes sense now. But I'm going to move on. The kids ain't mine. We got the DNA test.
Listen, what type of individual says all that and it was all a lie?
And he been 32 for 5 years.
Yeah.
He in his 40s.
Hey, when he was on holding court, he was 29.
Yeah. And he did an interview the other day where he's, I guess 35. He's going to live the rest 5 years of his 30s out to the max. He's a liar. And people like that are dangerous. And people that hang out with him and do his bidding are dangerous. They just want to get in where they could get in. I wish him well. And I really do think him getting knocked in the head so many times did something to him.
Hell no. He been cuckoo before that ass whooping in the bathroom.
Well, okay. I'm just going to let you be. You go on. I think there's nothing of me on record denying my children, denying my life. There's nothing of me lying. There is plenty for you. And that's it.
Well, anything else you want to say about the young man before we move on? I mean, he's not even that young. He's
in his 40s, isn't he?
Yeah, he just had a birthday, I believe. Happy birthday.
Late May or something.
Melvin Banks.
Happy birthday, Melvin. Happy 40.
You know what's crazy? When I was a kid, I'm going to say like 14, 15, 16, I knew some older dudes that was friends with his dad.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no, well, let me take that back. Not friends, but knew his dad. You know?
Yeah.
So when I was young, I knew who his dad was. You know, his dad lived actually not too far from where I had lived. Yeah.
Keep it real, you probably know more about his dad than he do. No, for real, because he never really, like, his dad died when he was, like, what, 6 months or something?
His dad died in 1986. He was 1 year old.
Right. He was born in 85, so, like, you know what I'm saying?
When his dad died, when his dad was murdered, I was 16. I was 16 years old.
I'd be thinking maybe prison does that to someone's mind. Like,
No,
what
prison
happened?
didn't do
Like,
that.
or it's a sickness, pathological sickness, right?
It's a sickness. What we diagnosed him?
Yeah, we diagnosed
Delusion
him.
of grandeur.
Yeah, delusions of grandeur. But there was a diagnosis that I had. I diagnosed him on a previous episode. I forgot, but
Yeah, just be very careful with the people you befriend and who you let in your world, because these devils come in many shades, many appearances. And if I could reverse befriending someone like him, I absolutely would, because it opened the door to this weirdo chick.
it seemed like it somewhat traumatized you a little bit. Whatever
It did, because I cannot understand how someone could lie like that. And I don't understand, like, he was just lying, just putting lies on me, and I just don't, it did bother me. I thought we were friends.
I got to admit, out of the people on the internet that tell fabrications, him and Fake Luce Cannon probably have the record. Munch. Is there anyone else that I'm leaving out? Them two guys will tell a tall tale.
Ooh, and that is just so disturbing.
And even in my private life, I've known a lot of liars.
Yeah.
But those two guys have the private liars I know outdone.
She's crazy.
I knew there was this one dude that lived around the corner from me. That dude was a good liar, but his lies were always to protect himself because he thought he was gonna get beat up.
That's different.
You know, yeah.
That's different. This dude, he lie on me, and just to make himself look tougher, or just to discredit me or whatever. You know what I mean? But halfway with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have so many screenshots. I have so many videos. I have so much proof, but I don't even have the desire. I don't care. Just shut the door. Okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
Are you familiar with the Luce Cannon guy that's currently in the MDC?
Yeah, he said that he wrote Bodack Yellow or something.
Okay. So what are some other big records? What are some stuff you can't talk about? Like what's your biggest record that you've produced?
You could say Bodack Yellow with Cardi B. Got her started.
You produced that?
Of course.
Wow. Okay, that's what's up. What was that like?
The process is easy, especially when you have somebody that's already on fire. So it was like she was doing her thing with love and hip hop. So it was an easy transition for her. She had the personality. A group of us went in there and we made magic, and she been off running ever since.
How did he say all this stuff and not think anyone was gonna? He really didn't think there's any smart people.
See, here's the problem with these guys, with these two guys or guys like.
No,
that.
he got Snoopy beat with the lies. He got him beat by a long shot.
Yeah, But the problem I have is not that they lie so much, is that there are platforms that are willing to put them on there so they could just spread more lies.
Yeah.
You know, and that's my issue with people like Adam, and a couple. What are some other platform? And then
I mean, Cam Capone platform. The
Capone,
the weirdo. Adam would do it. I expect Adam to do it. As long as you got a special check, Adam will interview you. You'll be like, Adam, he'll give.
Hey, I gotta throw Whack 100 in there. That trio right there. There's the trio of pathological liars.
Yeah.
Them three. And Whack goes on Vlad, for example, and that's a huge platform. And Vlad knows, he's got to be smart enough to know that 75% of what this guy's going to say is untruthful.
Yeah, that irritates my soul. Why does he let him go on? Why does everyone let it just keep going?
Well, because they know that the lies are entertaining. The lies are.
You know this.
Whack is a liar because he had to fake call somebody acting like this from my hood.
Oh.
Yeah, the FBI thing, and he's on the phone with somebody acting like that was from my hood, talking bad about me.
Yeah, we found out who that person really was.
Right, it was he had a fake Tubi actor or whatever.
You know this stuff. This is torment. This is like what are these people doing?
But there's levels to this lie. It go Luce Cannon, Melvin, then Whack. Because Luce Cannon is beating them by far, both of them.
Yeah,
he's way ahead of them. And then Melvin, he do shit just to make himself feel better. Yeah, he believe his lies though. Like he said, he gonna bring Drake to Bompton. Man, I'm bringing Drake to Bompton. You can't even go.
Look, I just got off the phone with some top dudes at OVO. So look, I let them know to let Drake know that he good in Bompton. He good in LA. Feel me? Whenever Drake want to hit Bompton, whenever Drake want to hit LA, he could tap in with me. You know what I'm saying? I just got off the phone. Look it, I just got off the phone right now with some top dudes at OVO. And I told them, Snoopy BadAzz, Bompton's most hated, Big Snoopy 200. I said, nigga, when you hit LA, y'all good, homie. I'll get them through here and up out of here. Ain't nobody worried about what these dudes talking about. It's just hip-hop. It's just hip-hop. Drake clearly the better artist. He clearly the big artist. We ain't gonna let these haters turn this into something that it ain't. Straight up.
How you gonna bring Drake, man? Drake could be a fool.
I was so surprised how that just got swept under the rug. Like, did not everyone just see what just this weirdo said?
Like, he really thought he was going to Tams in the West Side Pyru section?
That's
bringing Drake.
That's a bad idea, man.
I'm bringing Drake.
I'm still
Drake ain't going nowhere where you're at.
I'm a fan of Drake still, even though I'm Team West Coast, right? But Drake, man, if he did that, I would have been so disappointed.
I believe Drake did come to Compton once for the video shoot.
Yeah, with the game.
The game, yeah.
I forgot what it's called. I like it. They did it on Brazil and Wilmington.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but
Yeah,
Drake ain't that dumb, though.
Yeah, there's a lot of negative spirits out here. But like I said, you know that this industry is not filled with the best of spirits. So you just got to fight the devil as it comes. And that's all I'm going to do. That's all I can do.
Now, out of these three guys, okay, I think I agree with your ranking, Munch. Is there anyone else you would throw in terms of the internet into that group of three?
With the propaganda and the lies.
Yeah.
Damn, hold on, cause it's one more. It's one more, but I can't think right now.
Is there anyone you would add to that, Nina?
R&B.
R&B.
Oh, the girlfriend.
Yeah.
Oh, I think she just go along with whack lies, but she lie on her own.
No, she's real, like, she knows what she's doing, and I don't like when me and Whack have gotten into it, here she comes. Like, girl.
Oh, you got to take R&B out and put Sharice Mills.
Sharice Mills is on there, too. Sharice Mills, they lie.
I guess the partners of all these guys, so it doesn't really count.
No, it does count, because how can you have a partner that goes on and mistreats people like this and does all this, and you not say anything?
Who someone mistreated you?
No, not me, but
Whack.
all
Like
the
she's saying,
people Whack has mistreated. How can your man, if my man was out there doing that, it wouldn't happen. He's not going to do it because we don't operate that way.
Yeah.
But to go out there and, you know what? They're weak then. They're weak in that relationship. They have no say-so. It's just a box.
I was just about to say, you kind of like, you got a spine, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're not doing that. We're not going to go out there looking stupid like that. And look, she allowed him to talk himself into prison.
Who?
Sharice.
Those Coochie? Oh, yeah.
And now the baby don't have a dad no more. Like, he's gone,
He wasn't going to raise that kid anyways.
Man, her face in the pillow right now. She getting smacked down.
All right. Hey, we got to we're gonna wrap this up.
Okay.
Because we could talk about this
Smackdown.
all day long. But
real.
I thought you were gonna say she's crying right
Nah,
now.
hell no. Sharice getting her little shit hit.
Okay, that makes
Oh,
more
yeah.
sense.
Sharice ain't waiting for this dude to come home.
Oh no, I'm sure she has a line. She has options.
100%.
Pretty girl.
100%. She's not waiting for this guy to come home. He ain't coming home for at least
10 years.
a 10-piece.
Somebody hitting that little Trini thing.
How about Brick?
Brick, I don't know much about Brick's case, but
Hopefully sooner than later, huh?
yeah, but the fake cannon,
Out of here.
Tremaine, he's gonna do at least a dime piece because he's got multiple cases.
Bro, he told Whack that he's really 32 and his brother just looks like him.
Right. So your brother 42, you 32, and y'all twins. He said he been shot 10 times.
Yeah.
He got shot in the mouth and it hit a nerve. That's why he talked like that. He
Hey,
think
but-
he
Oh
fixing
wow!
it.
Before we wrap this up,
The bullet's still in there.
before we wrap this up, though, you guys got to admit, maybe you won't. There is a little bit. This is probably why these interviews get so many views. There is a little bit of entertainment that comes with listening to a guy just sit there for an hour and lie.
I started liking him when he was doing the sweetie.
But-
I know that's right.
Hey,
So that
you're the second one to say that you like that.
But it got to be a little bit of schizophrenia or bipolar with this dude,
Oh, for
Melvin
sure.
Banks, because every month he got something new. Red Mafia family.
Oh yeah.
Some Cherry Chuck shit.
Oh,
Angelo.
hold on, let
Angelo-
me. And when he ran up those stairs, that was not a play. That
hell no.
that absolutely happened. Don't let him come on your podcast and talk about it was a play. It wasn't. He got chased up them stairs with them slides on, them dirty ass drawers he had on.
That was absolutely real.
Play the video.
And I know
Alex,
I
drop
know a
it.
lot about that situation. I know a lot about who that person is. It was 100% real. They caught him slipping in San Pedro.
Yeah.
And that's probably why he don't pop out anymore.
Yeah.
He don't pop out anymore. But my question was, sometimes I watch Melvin, and it's funny. Like I laugh at it, but shit is funny.
No. That bringing Drake to Bompton shit was funny.
That was hilarious.
That was the best laugh I had that week.
That was
For real.
hilarious. And then what was more hilarious when he did he reacted to his own delusion. He got mad that y'all hating on me and trying to stop me from bringing Drake. That was hilarious.
Oh, he tried to make it seem like we did it. Like
Yeah,
we stopped Drake from
He said some
coming.
people got on the phone and
Talk-
made some calls and messed it up. And I did a video reacting to it, and I don't know why he mad at me. You put the content out there, but
Fool. He don't know what it sounds like coming out.
yeah, I don't mind when people get on their own platform. That was Snoopy on his own Instagram. That was him on his own YouTube. Say what you want to say, but to now make the rounds and do all the interviews, was it Cam Capone, No Jumper, and just continue to fabricate? That's where I'm upset with some of the platforms. In fact, I will never go on a platform. You will never see me on a platform that promotes the pathological fabricators.
Well, no, I think you might have to go to put a different voice to that to make it vocal. Why are we allowing people to lie up here?
We're doing it right now. We're doing. I can do it on my own platform.
Amen.
I can do it on my own platform.
Amen.
All right, Nina Berretta, where can the people tap in with you?
It's on Instagram at Nina NINA __ Beretta BERETTA. Hit me up, holler at me.
And in terms of music,
And I'm working on music. I just put out a single. I have songs coming out every week. They're, I record them all myself. I run Pro Tools, and I put a lot of heart into it. I don't know what's going to come from it. I mean, I've been chasing a dream my whole life, but now I'm just living it and enjoying what I do. And again, I'm very grateful to be here with you guys. Thank you so much.
thanks for coming. And Munchie's kind of the same. He drops music whenever he kind of feels like it.
Right now,
Hard though. I heard it.
my boy Perryon J. Key and Munchie B featuring Lil Boosie is called Red Lambo. Is out right now.
Shoot.
Perryon J. Key, Munchie B featuring Lil Boosie is called Red Lambo. Everybody tap in on tap out with that, for real.
And I will not be dropping any music.
This week.
This week or next month or this year. But you can find me at Alex Alonso 101 on all social media platforms. Of course, this show and the audio will be broadcast around the world on all your podcast platforms, Spotify, iHeart, and Apple. And we out.